We have often seen people getting prey or prone to fraudulent scams or a lot of money getting debited from their account. So this is very important in today's times that we learn more of these different kinds of attacks which the hacker can use against your web application, especially if you're developing a banking application. There has to be many layers of security because you're dealing with money, right? Imagine $10,000 getting disappeared from your account. It's scary, right? So CSRF is one such attack which is mostly used by the hacker. Today, a lot of companies have already been vulnerable to this attack. For example, your Netflix, Amazon, etc. So, and this CSRF attack is it can be known as a sleeping giant attack because in today's times it is one of the most underrated attack. But when it happens, it will definitely create a havoc in your lives. It can be very devastating for both the business as well as the user. It can result in damage, client relationships, unauthorized fund transfers, change passwords, data theft, including your stolen data, and so on. So CSRF is very important to know as a web developer or as a backend developer, especially when you're dealing with banking applications. Yeah. So let's see what is CSRF all about. CSRF is typically an attack which tricks the user into performing an unwanted action in your application in which he is already authenticated. And it is basically forging the request to a server to perform any unwanted actions, for example, transfer of the funds to the hacker's account or changing the password, changing the email, changing the phone number, and so on. So it's normally the end user will not come to know because he will think that it is the same banking application which is doing it. So the hacker will forge the request. That is where the name comes from, CSRF, cross-siting request forging. So it is also pronounced as CSRF or XSRF, and it can be conducted using your malicious social engineering, which prompts the end user to click on certain images or click on certain links. And for this attack to take place, it is very important that the user is authenticated, that the user is logged in into the banking application or in whichever application he is dealing with. It is not, this attack is not vulnerable to applications which just displays the public content. So such users should not need to be worried about. But it is very important if you're, it's very important for applications which deals with users' accounts and the user's money and so on. So let's see how this works. The hacker actually forges a request for a fund transfer to the website. For this, the user has to log in into the banking application or any application wherever. These CSRF is very common in e-commerce applications as well as your banking applications. So the attacker will forge a request for a fund transfer to a website. It embeds that this can be done by embedding the request into the hyperlink and so that the user so that the user in tricking the users to clicking that link or an image, the visitor clicks on the link and it leads to sending the request to the website. And what happens is the website validates the request and transfers the funds from the visitor's account to the hacker's account. So this is how the CSRF attack can take place. Now in technical perspective, let's see how that can be done. For this, the hacker has to have studies the application, and now this is we can see how CSRF attack using the GET request. Now, as you can see, this is a GET method wherein it has your service endpoint, the request parameters, that is the account is equal to person B, the user's account, the authenticated user's account, and the money, that is the $100. So what the hacker can do is the hacker can modify the request in such a way such that it can modify the account is equal to his account. So as you all know that GET request, the URL parameters get appended to the URL, right? So this is how he can modify the request using if we use GET request. Another way is wherein he is embedding an image and associating a link onto that image, and the link will have the hacker's account. So using a GET request, the CSRF attack can take place. Next is the POST request. What he can do is using this, there is this body. there is this form which has two hidden parameters, that is the account and the amount. The account points to the attacker's account. He embeds this form into the body, and what happens is when the web page loads, he can execute this piece of action. We can see what practices we can include using CSRF to avoid CSRF attacks. Logging of web applications when not in use, securing the usernames and password, not allowing the browsers to remember passwords, and especially when you're dealing with any banking application, do not open multiple tabs. There are some more ways in which a developer can avoid a CSRF attack when coding for a web application. That is using anti-CSRF token. Anti-CSRF tokens is used to challenge a token that is associated with any particular user. It is probably sent as a hidden value in every state-changing form in the web app. It is also known as a synchronizer token pattern. What it does is the web server will generate a token and it will store it. The token is set as a hidden field of the form. The form which is submitted by the user is this token. In the form submitted by the user, this token is included in the post request data. The application then compares the token generated as against the token which is stored by the application. If the tokens match, the request is valid. If these do not match, the request is invalid and it is rejected. This is also known as a synchronizer token pattern. This is one of the method in which it can protect the form against the CSRF attacks, because an attacker would also need to guess the token to successfully trick a victim into sending a valid request, and guessing the token is not very easy for the attacker. The token should also be invalidated after some time, like for example your particular maybe a half an hour or so on, and after the user logs out. It is anti-CSRF tokens are often exposed via AJAX, and it is usually sent as headers or request parameters with the AJAX request. For or anti-CSRF mechanism, for this to be a successful strategy, it needs to be cryptographically secure. That is, it should not be easily guessed by any layman. This can be recommended by using frameworks such as AngularJS, and you should also refrain from using your own mechanism if possible, because this will let you avoid the errors and make the implementation quite quicker and easier. So we can use some of the frameworks which will generate a token in the unpredictable format. Second strategy to avoid CSRF attacks would be your same-site cookies. In order to know what are same-site cookies, we need to understand the same origin policy. So what does the same origin policy say? The same origin policy is is a cookie that only can be sent if the request is made from the origin related to the cookie. What does the same origin policy say? That is, the protocol, the domain, and the port number has to be matched in order for two websites to communicate with each other. But there are certain limitations of the same site cookies. That is, it is not supported by some of the browsers, that is Chrome or Firefox. And same site cookies can be used as an additional defense layer to your application. So these are some of the ways in which we can avoid the CSRF attacks, that is using the anti-CSRF tokens, using the same site cookies. These are a few of the generic tips, that is to avoid the CSRF attacks. The first would be train and maintain awareness, like to keep the web application safe. Everyone involved in building the web application must be aware of the risks associated with the CSRF attacks. You should provide suitable security training to all your developers, QA staff, DevOps, sysadmins. Especially when you're dealing with any banking applications, add multiple layers of security. Second would be access the risk. Normally, CSRF attacks do not apply to public content. They are only dangerous when authentication is required and when your web application has a lot of user accounts. So if your web application has user accounts, you need to be extra vigilant and treat CSRF attacks as one of the major risks if you're dealing with any e-commerce applications. A third would be your use anti-CSRF tokens, because these are considered the most effective method to protect against a CSRF attack. Use a tested implementation such as you can use if you're coding in Java, you can use CSRF guard. If you're a PHP developer, you can use CSRF protector to implement your own anti-CSRF tokens. Develop your own mechanism only if there is no existing one for your environment. You can use same-site cookies, even though some of the browsers do not support it. Same-site cookies can act as a additional protection layer along with your anti-CSRF tokens. Next would be to scan your web application with Acquinetics. If you're using Jenkins, you should install the Acquinetics plugin to automatically scan or to schedule your automatic scan for the web application. So these are some of the generic tips for we can avoid the CSRF attacks. And these are normally the what we discussed in this tutorial was what is a CSRF, how dangerous it can be, what are the detection mechanisms, and what are the protection layers against CSRF. Thank you. Happy coding. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.